Hi, good evening. Welcome to Hawkeye Tonight. I'm your host, Jenny Hawk. This room is electric tonight, and I'll tell you why. Because tonight, we got our wish, and the show is live. So exciting. Oh, I'm so excited. And I'm really excited for my guest, who will join us in a bit. Los Angeles, excuse me, Los Angeles Police Department Officer Sergeant Dexter M. Thorpman. Very excited to have Mr. Thorpman with us tonight. But before we get to that, let's talk about, well, it's a live show. So it's really important to me that everything go like clockwork. And one of the things I've noticed is that when you're trying to live a positive life and trying not to use negative words, things like mistakes or a mistake-free show, you can't say that. You can't really say that because you don't want to focus on the mistakes. So you're trying to focus on the positive and then say, well, let's have a perfect show. But that's not fair either, because the show is perfect no matter how. We're all perfect exactly as we are. So that leaves a bit of a semantic quandary as far as describing what we're trying to do here tonight. But I guess we're just doing our best, which can always get better. And I've asked my guest, just so we don't have the mishaps that we've had before, to watch the countdown clock and then be ready so that exactly 4 minutes into the show, he's going to come in. And it's not going to be like, oh, there was traffic or blah, blah, blah. He's sitting right out there. And not in the green room, because I'm trying not to focus on past mistakes, but also, you know, you do need to talk a little bit about the prior shows, and if we can just get a little bit closer, I'm going to lower my voice a little bit so he can't hear me. I've seen in past shows that there's kind of a pattern that emerges, and that is like, I'm very excited about the show, and I'm really, like at a high level of energy and excitement, and then the guest comes in and they are like, oh, this happened, or oh, I thought this happened, or whatever, and then I can see myself, my energy starting to fall, and then towards the end of the show I pick up a little bit because my expectations are zero at that point. Just trying to watch the clock because in 4 minutes in he's gonna come, exactly. And so I'm trying to, I think I should do a show where I have no expectations of anything that happens, because you should always look at your own portion of something that happens, your own responsibility. And as far as that special effects issue that happened last week, I have to say I have searched my brain. I've searched every corner of my being to try to find what my responsibility could be in that mistake, the thing that happened that, however you want to describe it, but it was terrible. It was awful, and I can't find any. So I don't know how I could make that better, except, there is no way. So I'm soldiering on, having no expectations for the guest, because the past has proven that when you have expectations, you can sometimes, I don't want to say disappointed, because that's a negative word. It makes it really hard to communicate when you remove negative language from your lexicon. It makes it really hard to communicate. Okay, so, mistake-free show, but saying that in a nice way. Guest is going to come out soon. We've got a couple of underwriters who are sponsoring, not really sponsoring, but underwriting portions of the show. We have Speak and Hear Ultra, which is a new way to communicate. And gosh, I have copy for this, I guess, somewhere. Oh yeah, don't you have problems with your cell phone and you can't communicate with people? Get this Speak and Hear Ultra. You can plug it into your texting device, and voila! Be the envy of your friends with Speak and Hear Ultra's patent pending. What is it's terrible. Patent pending instantaneous voice-to-voice technology. Does staying in the loop have you feeling all wet? Ugh. Well, with Speak and Hear Ultra, communicating on the go is no problem. Oh my, I can't even. No more toilet water on your hands. The convenient cord makes it so easy to retrieve. I don't understand how, all right. Does your texting device make it difficult to connect? Well, with Speak and Hear Ultra, get your message across and get down to business. Now anyone you call can hear your words and respond by talking words, which you can also hear. Order yours now. Thanks to Speak and Hear Ultra for sponsoring the show. Hello, Mr. Thorpman.
How are you, Jenny? How are you?
Welcome to the show. Please have a seat.
Is it safe?
It's safe.
You said the set's electric. I don't know what to do.
No, it's great. It's great. I meant that. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, please
I'm just gonna sit.
I meant that. Oh, gosh.
It's all right. It's the set.
No, you're all right. You're okay.
Okay, here we go.
You're all right. It's okay. It's okay.
I'm here.
You're great. Thank you for coming exactly on time. I appreciate it so much.
You're very welcome.
Los Angeles Police Department Officer Sergeant?
40 years come next month sometime.
40 years. That's
40 years.
Wonderful.
Oh,
you certainly don't look old enough to be a 40-year veteran of the
Oh,
Los
you'd be
Angeles
surprised.
Police Department.
A lot of cracking heads, you know what I mean? What? No?
Thank you for coming.
Mm-hmm.
And I have some questions for you that have been given to me on these white cards.
Okay.
Usually I have color, purple or green.
Well, ask away.
White
I'm
cards.
ready for anything.
So
No secrets.
you're a police department officer or sergeant. Can I call you sergeant?
I'm a deputy sergeant officer in charge of L.A. district,
Okay.
all that good stuff. I should have worn my uniform. I don't know what I was thinking. Look at me.
You look very sharp this evening, sir.
I haven't worn this suit 20 years.
Wow. Well,
And I think, I mean, look at me.
it holds up.
I think
I've got to say, it holds up very nicely. Maybe I'll call you Mr. Thorpman.
Thorpman?
Well, you tell me. It says here Dexter M. Thorpman.
Yeah, Thorpman. Don't call me Thorpe.
Thorpe. Is that your
Thorpe.
name around the
That's
station
around the
house?
thing. Whenever I would crack somebody over the head, I go, you just got Thorped. And it became a big thing. It was a big spread in the paper about 20 years ago, Thorped. That's when I busted the big bust. You remember that?
Mr. Thorpman, it's so nice to meet you and to have you on the show. And I've got a question written down here. May I ask you the question?
I don't know.
All right, well, I'll ask it, and then you can say if you want to be asked it or not, because we try to make everyone really comfortable.
Well, I got no secret. I got nothing to hide. You know?
Yeah.
There we go.
I understand. So, Mr. Thorpman, so sometimes when I'm driving around Los Angeles and I see a patrol car with policemen in it, I have the tendency to then be driving on my best behavior. I mean, I'm a very safe driver as it is, but, to signal super early and then slow down, and be so very obviously cautious and to try to say, hey, look what a safe driver I am. Like, normally I'm a safe driver, but I mean minding every P and Q. And then usually the officer, or every time, the officer just passes right by. And there's no positive reinforcement of that. Like, nobody ever says, hey, you did a great job with that driving. Do you know what I mean?
I passed that. That's the No Favoritism Act.
So that's a rule that you're
if we do it to one person, we got to do it to everybody.
But what if you're driving really, really nicely? I mean, like signaling, like...
You're not veering to the left or to the right. You're right in the middle of the lane.
Boom, boom, like a 10 count before the left turn. Signal so everybody behind you knows exactly what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
I do that every time. I mean...
Well, that's very good.
Thanks.
Have you had a ticket in your life?
No, I have not.
Oh. maybe we can give you some kind of an award or good. I don't know if I can though, because the favoritism act. I don't know.
Well, this is wonderful. I've asked the question, and you've just fulfilled my wish to have positive reinforcement of my good driving.
There you go. From a Deputy General Sergeant Officer of the L.A. District of L.A.
Okay. That sounds like a title.
It's a good title.
Yeah.
40 years. You better give me something. Otherwise, because Officer Carmine, come here. No, 40 years you call me a General Deputy Officer District guy.
Don't you get a substantial pension from the LAPD, or are you not retired yet?
Not retired yet. I got a few more years left in me.
Wow.
Yeah.
So after 40, they make you still keep hitting the bricks.
Hitting the bricks.
Pavement?
They say I'm gaining too much weight. They got me on the bike.
You know
They got me on a bicycle route.
We don't do body shaming on this show.
Yeah, but it's what they do.
Well, forget those guys. They're jerks.
I know, but all they have to do is go, hey, this guy's getting a little weight.
Those are not the views of West Hollywood Public Access or any of the other channels that we appear on. But they're jerks. I mean, honestly.
What kind of image are you trying to hold for the other officers in your district and your all that? What kind of example? I'm like, 40 years, I can't gain a little weight.
It's a terrible thing.
I'm happy.
To say.
I'm happy.
Well, that's all that matters, Dexter Thorpman, and I'm so happy for you. And
Dexter.
I think that once you retire from there, you can start pursuing something that makes you happier than a thing where people criticize you and they don't even allow good drivers to get some kind of a wave, maybe, like or like, or like a or like like that. Nothing.
No.
Nothing.
Nothing.
And I'm thinking to myself, yeah, they're on the look for bad guys and people who speed and do terrible driving maneuvers, which they do in this town sometimes.
Oh, don't get me started on that.
There's a lot of bad driving maneuvers in this town.
They're riding your butt. Can I say that? I can say butt?
Yes. But don't go further than butt. Good advice for everyone.
I was about to. I got a mouth on me.
Yeah.
You don't want to hear me.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe our viewers do want to hear you, but keep it toned down. Don't.
I can't. My family's watching.
Oh, that's so sweet.
That's good.
Aw.
4
Mr.
kids.
Thorpman.
We got 4 kids.
Tell us about your 4 kids. Do you...
I don't know. I crack their heads every now and then. They get out of line.
All right.
They just drive me crazy.
How about we move on to
Drive me nuts.
a segment?
Oh, let's do a segment.
Let me ask you this. Do you ever get ideas about things like entrepreneurial ideas, and then you try to tell people, and they're like, oh, that won't work because blah, 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 or that won't work because...
Yeah.
Well, that's not going to happen on this show. Welcome to our segment. It's called I Get Ideas. I'm going to say the idea that I had.
Okay. I'm all ears.
So one time I was at Ralph's getting deli meat cut, and I don't usually do that. No offense, Ralph's, but it's not a thing that I usually do. But sometimes when you have company,
Deli meat cut?
you you order it. Exactly. Oh, you're right on track with me. We're having a mind
That's
meld.
what I did before I became an deputy sergeant.
So you're going to have such good things to say about my idea because people have to, they put the meat on and then they are like, and then they have to spray it down every time. And it's time consuming. And the Rock and Roll Ralph's over there, well, I'm not going to say the neighborhood because I love the people that watch this show, but I can't have them all visiting me.
Crack a lot of heads over there.
That just practically speaking, not that I wouldn't appreciate visitors. And I don't want people's heads getting cracked because
it just got to happen,
But anyway, so when you get cold cuts, they have to do all these shenanigans and rigmarole to get the cold cuts. And I came up with an idea of a deli slicer that's like super wide with different slots in it, right?
Yes.
And then you put in the meat pack and you hit what you want, like, a pound of this. And then it slices it, and then washes itself. They give you the cold cuts, and then they can help 5 people at a time. It cuts down on insurance premiums. Ralph's, if you're listening, or any other store that wants to use this idea, I give it for free because the ideas just keep coming to me.
That's a great idea.
Share. So what do you think as a former deli slicer What do you think of my idea?
I think it's a great idea. I go to Ralph's at least 3 times a day, and I get there.
3 times a day?
I get the foot-long pastrami.
3 times a day?
Yeah.
Pastrami?
Pastrami.
Do you ever get tired of pastrami?
I love pastrami. Don't
Do
get
you
me
ever
started
get-
on pastrami.
Do you ever get vegetables with it? Because vegetables can be good.
It takes away from the flavor, the good saltiness, and the pepper, and the way they,
Yeah. So do you have vitamin deficiencies?
I do.
Oh,
I
I'm
do.
sorry to hear
Yeah,
that.
I got quite a few.
Oh gosh. Well.
2 weeks ago, I had salmonella poisoning. A week later, I get Shigella. I don't even know what that is. They tell me I get Shigella.
Oh, I can tell you what that is.
Can you?
It's horrible. Do you want to know?
Go for it.
It's a thing where people didn't wash their hands after, using the toilet in the second way.
Well,
And then they prepared your food, and then
Or it could have been me. I don't wipe properly.
Shigellosis. The
Do you
musical.
think it was me?
No!
Was it me?
I doubt it. You could get it from your own. You know why? You're probably immune to
Because it's
your
me.
own.
It came from me. Why would I get Shigella from my own body?
Exactly. You're probably immune to your own. But
I
you
would
should...
think by now. I think I've had Shigella maybe 20 times in my life.
20?
Yeah.
That's very bad.
Well, I'm 65 years old over here.
But you're in a vulnerable position. Have you tried acidophilus, maybe?
Who is that?
Oh, goodness.
I'm
Well,
sorry.
It's okay. I really want to give you advice, but I've vowed to stop giving people advice when they don't ask me for it, because that can be irritating to some people.
I love advice.
You do?
I don't listen, but I take.
Well, that would be very frustrating for me if I saw you.
Well, maybe if yours is good,
pastrami.
because everybody's just like, Carmine, why don't you lose some weight?
Yeah, well, I'm not
Thorpman.
telling you to body shame, but I will tell you that a natural consequence of not eating pastrami 3 times a day in a foot-long vehicle might make you feel better.
3 times a day, I go home, my wife makes a little dinner.
Okay, well, that sounds very pleasant.
Thank you. She's a lovely gal.
I bet she
Honey,
is.
where are you?
I bet she is, Dexter Thorpman. Thank you for being on the show. I
Thank
have one
you.
more idea that I'll run through very quickly. It's for bad drivers. And these are the worst drivers, the ones who speed really, really fast through residential neighborhoods. So I'm thinking, can we get like a pillow gun that shoots a pillow-like thing at their car and makes them think that they've hit a small child or a dog, so that they stop doing that? Because until they are stopped by fear, they'll just be thinking, oh, why can't I go fast? It's fun. I like going fast. Don't be such a party pooper. And then if they think, oh my goodness, something horrible's happened, they won't do it anymore. What do you think of that? Is that legal under the current traffic laws?
I like the idea. And me being the deputy general sheriff of the District of LA,
Yes.
I could see what I could do. By the powers that be.
That idea also is free. So it's to you if you want to get it and get some extra
I don't
finder's
steal.
fee.
That's your idea.
No, it's not stolen.
I've never stolen in my life.
I'm sure you don't steal. I wouldn't accuse you of stealing. You
Candy bar now and then. Who doesn't like a good candy bar?
Oh, don't admit to stealing on television, Dexter Thorpman.
Why not? Oh yeah, I understand.
You're a
Deputy
sheriff, officer,
Don't get
sergeant in
thought.
charge.
You hear me? All right.
I don't know if that's good. I mean, we don't like knocking
I'm a good
heads.
guy.
No,
I
you
just crack
seem
my
like-
kids' heads. It's not like I really crack their heads. I like say, why don't you clean your room? Like, why don't you lose some weight? What am I gonna do after that? Crack them in the head.
No.
You don't talk to your father like that.
I'm sorry, you can't. That's illegal and it's wrong, and it doesn't teach anyone anything to crack their head.
I mean, one's 4, one's 8, one's 10, and one's 32. You tell me.
Wow, you've
big
had
guy.
an interesting life.
Yes.
And you crack heads of a 32-year-old? I don't think so.
He still lives at home.
Is he big enough to crack you back?
He doesn't do it. I really, I instigated. I'm like, come on.
I don't think you should rule by fear.
I know.
Anyway, feel free to take that
All right,
pillow gun idea.
Jenny.
And I was thinking if you fill it with something like blood or cow stomach or something like that, it would be super effective. I mean, come on.
Okay.
Those sporty cars are not going to be racing down my street once that happens. Bang!
No sporty
blood
cars.
and guts all over
me
the
tell you.
car. Oh, I've hit a child. Yeah, stop driving so fast, because that's what happens when you drive so fast. Anyway, but I'm working on
What if
being more positive about things.
What if the pillow was in the shape of a child?
Yeah, okay, even better. We are mind melding here.
Huh?
take that to your whoever's above, a deputy, chief, sergeant, officer in charge, and tell them this is the thing we need to do.
Maybe put a voice chip in them.
Now I think we're going a little too far, but I like it.
It saves the kids.
It.
Why not?
I love it. Now, let's move on to a segment that I like to call, well, I'm not going to say what it is yet because I want to first explain what it is. We've got fans everywhere.
Of me?
No, fans of the show, Hawkeye Tonight.
Oh.
But they will be fans of you after this show, I'll tell you right now. And we've got dozens and dozens and dozens of Facebook friends. Fans and friends. Friends and fans. And let me just say this quickly about Facebook. I had my doubts about Facebook, but it's a thing where you can go up to some stranger and say, oh, will you be my friend? And then they like the stuff that you do. It's like a utopia society. Who can do that except little kids? Oh, hi, can I be your friend? Can you be my friend? Adults can't do that on Facebook. You can do it. I've done it time and time and time again. We've got dozens and dozens of friends of this show all over the world. And so I'd like to say thank you this week to a special super fan. So this segment is called Superfan.
Superfan.
Oh, that was fantastic, wasn't it? Did you
I
see
loved
it?
it. I saw it.
Superfan, you're going to get a time travel book from the collection of time travel books that some wonderful person gave to me for free on Craigslist. And my message to you, Superfan, is Superfan misurina omite itadaki arigato go maisazu. Superfan.
That was beautiful.
Thank you. I practiced that so many times, and I think it could have been better.
Yes.
But
No, I
don't know. I don't know. So, Mr. Thorpman, you're a police officer sergeant and deputy officer in charge. We've talked a lot on this show about beards and the prevalence of beards in Los Angeles. Do you feel like maybe the reason so many people have beards is that they're fugitives from the law and they're just trying to cover up their face so that no one will find them?
Yes.
We agree on so many things.
It's just, they do a bad murder, move to another town, grow a beard, and they're like, oh, everything's fine now.
Exactly.
But they don't fool me. I cracked a lot of heads.
So,
Understand?
I might not be totally against cracking heads in the event of a bad murder, but some other crimes,
Oh.
There's also
I've done it for less, I'm not gonna lie.
there's also a due process issue
Oh.
involved with the head cracking.
Okay. What do you think that is?
What do I think it is? Well, if you read someone your rights and then you bring them to the police station and then you arrest them and then you get evidence and then you take them to court and then their punishment gets to be what the judge says and or jury.
They always make fun of me. That's why I cracked the head.
But you should be more confident in yourself than
I
to
got
let
that.
a bad murderer shake your confidence and make you feel bad about yourself.
Marriage is on the rocks. I don't know what's going
Oh no, Mr. Thorpman. Do you have to say that here?
on. I feel like, get it out there. My family's watching. I'm hurting, all right?
You know what? Maybe now it's time to quickly go to a sponsor.
Oh. Okay.
I will just say that this sponsor is Kittredge Schematics. Kittredge Schematics has offered to give us one free schematic to the viewers of Hawkeye Tonight. It's only going to be on the screen for a few seconds, but it is free to viewers of this show. Again, that's Kittredge Schematics. We make your life better. That's wonderful.
Yeah, it was great.
It looks like a sort of a scheme for dealing with your pizza hunger, which happens to me. I'm sure it happens to my dozens, hundreds of Facebook friends and viewers. I love those people. They just like things. How nice is that?
Just like it.
They just like things.
He's like,
yes, I'll be your friend, and I like what you have to say.
And people just post, hey, I just got back from the store. Yeah. And that's it. And then people will like it.
Yeah. Well, maybe
And then sometimes, oh, what'd you get? They'll ask you. Then you just have a whole thread of comments.
Do you spend a lot of time on Facebook, Dexter?
I tend to not. It's depressed me.
Yeah.
You know, you think everybody's really as happy as they post?
I hope they're happier. Let's just pretend that they are, and maybe one day they will be. I'm going to get you happy yet, Mr. Thorpman. As a matter of fact, we've got another segment coming up that will make everyone happy, because Los Angeles is full of dogs, isn't it?
I love dogs.
So let's do our next segment. We've got dogs, do, 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 do. We've got dogs. We've got dogs.
Are they here?
No.
Oh. Okay. Yeah. Sorry.
No, but I'm going to refrain from talking about my own dogs because I've been told that's also somewhat irritating. And I don't mean to use that negative word, but let's just say there are better, more interesting things to talk about. So, Mr. Thorpman, do you have dogs?
I've got 18.
18 dogs!
18 dogs.
Isn't it amazing? I didn't know that when I made up this idea for this segment. What kind? Do you know what kind all these dogs are?
They're all Chihuahuas.
Oh my gosh, are they yapping about?
I've trained them not to bark.
Oh, you're wonderful.
I've trained them not to play or bite or, you know, even the little bites, you know, and they're like just playing, biting. They're very obedient. I don't beat them or anything, but it's got that voice.
Oh, you have a commanding voice.
Yeah, it's good. Hey!
So do they have any enjoyment in their lives whatsoever?
Well, the kids don't really like them. I don't know why. The brats, everybody's spoiled.
Mr. Thorpman, we've just got a minute left, and I think we need to have a confidence pose. I don't mean to beat this to death, this confidence pose.
I can barely move in this suit. I don't know.
But I need you to feel better before you leave here.
Okay.
I've had 0 expectations of you, and my expectations have been more than met.
Oh.
So, hands on hips.
Okay.
I accept myself wholly and unconditionally.
I have to repeat?
Yes.
I accept myself, what is it?
Wholly and unconditionally. Holy with a W. W-H-O-L-L-Y. Not holy like Jesus Christ is holy.
I accept myself.
Holy and unconditionally. Great.
You hear that, honey?
Feel better?
Yes. I can tell you right now.
Do that whenever you're in your cop car, not when you're driving, of course, but when you're in park and you think you see a bad murderer who is going to insult you. Put those hands on those hips, accept yourself completely, and boy, won't it be a brighter day.
Thank you.
No, thank you, Dexter. It's been so wonderful to have you on the show.
Well, I've enjoyed this tremendously. This has been wonderful.
It's really nice to have the community, people who serve the community, and taking care of the bad murderers. And by the way, look for that pillow shooter soon, because you'll see it.
Definitely.
No more.